Well, Sami Al-Aryan is the director of the Centre for Islam and Global Affairs at Istanbul Sabahattin Zaim University. He joins me now live from here in Istanbul. Sami, thanks very much, as always, for joining us on the News Hour. Is there a connection to be made here between the meeting between Benjamin Netanyahu and Donald Trump, and indeed what Donald Trump is trying to establish with Iran?
Certainly. There were several issues that Netanyahu wanted to resolve with Trump. Let's preface this by saying that the United States has been backing Israel to the hilt, particularly in their genocidal campaign in Gaza and throughout the campaign to displace and dispossess the Palestinians. Nevertheless, all the files, all the issues that Netanyahu brought to Trump, he did not go satisfied. On the issue of Gaza, it seems that there is a deadline for this assault, this current assault, since Trump is coming next month to the region to visit Saudi Arabia, Emirates, Qatar, and other places. And he says that he wants that war to stop in the not too distant future, he says, which means that there must be some kind of a deadline and perhaps even a pending deal. On the issue of Syria, he said that he has to resolve his problem with Turkey, that Erdogan is his friend, and that they need to resolve the issue with Turkey rationally, he says. On the issue of Iran, he asserted that this is going to be negotiations, that there will be some time for negotiations. He did not endorse the strike that Netanyahu was seeking when he went to Washington. On the issue of the West Bank, it seems like what Israel wants is annexation, or at least a recognition of the fact that they are trying to annex as much land as possible. And it seems this is going to be in the face of a normalization deal that Trump wants. So it's not clear what happens there. Finally, on the issue of trade, they wanted to get some relief, but it seems like Trump did not give him that right away.
Okay, so a number of interconnected issues there coming out of this meeting. Most pressing of those, certainly for the people of Palestine, is the issue of Gaza. You mentioned that Donald Trump is pushing for an end at some point to the war, but what seems much more likely in the interim is going to be a ceasefire deal akin to what we had before for the release of hostages and indeed for Palestinian prisoners.
Correct. The problem here is Israel does not want to commit to the end of the war. They want to get the hostages, the captives back, some of them or all of them, without committing to this ceasefire, permanent ceasefire, or to the end of the war. And the resistance is not willing to do that. They say, we are willing, obviously, to make a deal, but there has to be an end to this war at the end of these negotiations. That was the premise of the first negotiations that Israel broke back on March 18th, and we're still at that impasse. Whatever the Egyptians and the other mediators are trying to do is to basically get Israel to agree to that at the end, there has to be a ceasefire, a permanent ceasefire. America, so far, the United States so far, has been supporting Israel in trying to get the hostages, the captives, without any commitment.
And to what extent do you think both of these men are hoping that the headlines that have been generated by this meeting will in some way distract from the political pressure they're under back home?
I don't think in terms of Trump that this is going to be much impact. Trump has a lot of problems at his hand, particularly on the trade deals and the trade tariffs that he has initiated. So this is going to be a sideshow in America. But in the Zionist regime, this is going to be a big deal because Netanyahu was banking that he is going to get the full support of America on all the issues, and it doesn't seem that he got that.
Sami, appreciate that. Always good to have you on the News Hour. Sami Al-Aryan there joining us live from here in Istanbul.